Hi, I'm Joan Mazat from Leaves and Leashes. And you know, the temperatures this fall have been in the high 80s. And I must admit, I have left all of my summer containers as is because I gotta say, the bees and the butterflies are still using them, and I simply don't have the heart to tear out those flowers. Even though some of the containers don't look nearly as good as they used to, the pollinators are still getting their last sips before I think eventually we will start getting some cooler temperatures. So I'm going to start my fall containers out in just one of my older containers and do something a bit smaller scale that I can enjoy in front of my garage when I come home. Now, I've already done some pre-prep work, so not to bore you, I've taken the plants that I'm going to use out of their pots and I tipped them upside down inside of the container. Then I filled it with a very nice, as you can see, perfectly balanced bark-based, beautiful potting mix that is nice and fluffy. I don't compress the soil, but I fill it pretty full so that it's nice and just light so that the roots can penetrate into the bottom of the pot. Now, why did I take the pots and put them inverted into the container? This is a simple makeshift pretend whiskey barrel, and it used well over 2 cubic feet more of soil. And so that I don't waste soil that I'm paying for, I take the space with the empty inverted pots, and it also lends to drainage. So it's a money savings event for me. It just takes up some space in my big container. So here we go, a nice fluffy base of soil. And let's start with our height element. Now I'm gonna have these at the entrance to my garage, and so I wanna put my height element in back. This is the kale, the red boar. It's different than the other kales. As you can see, it grows much more as a stalk and is going to work really kind of fun as my height element. So when I'm planting plants, I don't really shove or press very hard. I make a hole exactly kind of where I want the level to be, place my plant, and then scooch the soil back over nice and light with my fingers. And it makes a very good way for the plant just to be established, and I'll water in later to settle it. My next element is going to be the Bright Lights Swiss chard. Now, if this plant had a lot of time to grow before frost, it gets quite beefy. Being that it's fall, it's not going to get as large. And the neat thing about the Bright Light Swiss chard is exactly as it's described. It's a nice bright color, and it just adds a different element. I'm gonna loosen the soil up a little bit before I put her in, and it'll be this step down from the red boar as we are creating this container. Now, mums are always perfect for fall. With the temperatures that we have experienced, I think it is really hastening the life of the mum flower. So when I was shopping, I was looking for the mums that honestly had the tightest presentation so that I can enjoy them the longest. At the Great Garden Center that I got this from, this is actually locally from We Grow Dreams, they have a really nice way of stating when the time frame of the mums is expected to bloom. This one is called Rhonda White, and the bloom time expectation is going to be mid-October, which is basically right on cue. So we're going to pair either side of our chard and our red boar with this gorgeous Rhonda mum. And it's at a perfect stage, and it's just something to consider when you are purchasing your mums. Look for the ones that are more tight, that is going to give you the best longevity so that you can enjoy them at home the longest. Now, this is another different type of kale. This is the Glamour Red. It grows much more almost head-like, and the color is really, really bright. I really like this because it's going to be a very nice tip-off between my whites, and it will go reminiscent back to the purple color in our red boar. And if you notice, I'm just loosening the roots just gently. The thing about fall is, of course, I expect to get a nice presentation here till about Halloween time. So I got about a month to enjoy, and the root systems really are not going to need that much space within the container. And then, of course, pansies. I love pansies. They're beautiful. This is the Delta Pro. This is the yellow with red wing. I want to give a little bit of a brightness in the color and a little bit of red to our presentation along with our white. And so those little friends are going to go on either side. I'm going to look carefully at my plants before I plant them and take off any of the spent flowers that will not be that great, and just give that plant an ability to focus on growing into my container. So it's nice, simple, cheerful fall design, and I didn't put too much in it. I actually think I'm going to bolster my pansies a little bit more. I have some extra plants that I did get just in case. So I'm going to add in an extra couple of pansies just to give that a little bit more oomph and color. On the edges, again, taking off the older flowers and making sure they're nice and clean before they go in. As you can see, the soil level, none of the plants are sunk in, and it makes a very nice presentation. So now, since I'm to this point, we need to water in our plants. And as you notice, I didn't cram or push my plants in super hard. So let's talk a little bit about proper watering, whether it be fall or spring. My favorite device for watering is the Stram water breaker. It's called the 400 because it has 400 holes in it, and it makes this beautiful shower. Now, I never ever overhead water my plants once they're mature, but I need to settle them in. And so in this case, some of the plants are going to get hit overhead. I will go around usually 3 times, let that water go down, let it soak in a sec, help out anybody who got hit. Hit it one more time, go around, settle in those plants. With the kale, you can go at the heart of it and then have that soak in. Let that drain down. And then one more time. And then for the next couple of days, I'll monitor. Today is kind of windy and in the 80s, and perhaps these plants might need water again tomorrow. I don't need to soak them down and make everything soaking wet. It'll make those roots kind of sink and get some sinking into the water as they go looking for that water. So here we go. I think we have a beautiful fall container that I just will love to come home to and brighten up every day. And remember, if this is useful to you, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon.